after leaving off from the stream last week here, we are playing the Dunkirk battle, the Dunkirk evacuation, the miracle of Dunkirk, however you want to call it. So we're going to continue with this, and I will give you guys a briefing on what is up with everything as we left off. Okay. We have lost one unit that was under strength that got in to the water here and got sunk. So we want to try to keep that from happening again. Now we do have some AA here that will help. We got to evacuate here. Now we gave up Lille. I gave up Lille early here for a better defensive line along this river. Now historically there was a 4-day siege of Lille, sort of led by Rommel. Or at least he was one of the generals on the German side involved in it. So we've abandoned that for a loss of one of the secondary objectives. But we're going to try to hold back here for a few more turns before falling back into the ocean. You can see that we have a perimeter around the field here. And so, but the Belgians have totally collapsed up here in the north, and we're going to see if we can get to Newport, which I think is likely before the Germans do. And there was a battle for Newport historically, so we have this fairly difficult task to achieve. Okay, let's see. Now I've been informed that it is better to not move. You get better damage results from ship actions prior to shooting. Obviously I did move there to get into range, so that is you know, sometimes you just need to move. Okay, now I'm worried about this guy here. The SDKFZ 2222222 also 2. Right, okay. It is one of my favorite little armored cars. I like it. But it's dangerous because it can move into the rear and disrupt my retreat. So I'm going to use... okay, good. Weaken it some. Let's move the armor unit up here. Okay, you would through. No. 1, you don't want to attack heavy infantry in a town. 2, you definitely don't want to do it against a unit supported by anti-tank. Okay, now we push them back, terribly weakened. Oh, Lancer. But no, I'm not going to move on to the bridge. Right. I think we still got a shot with this guy this turn. Let's hit the guys on the airfield. Now there's a bunch of major controversies dealing with Dunkirk. And one of the biggest ones is the stop order of the German armor. That effectively allows... if there's any units I want to still move. No, you're staying dug in, you're staying dug in, you're staying dug in. Yeah, well... is the stop order. It effectively, like I was saying, effectively allows the evacuation. Now, why did the stop order happen? There's controversies. A few people sort of go on, oh, well, Hitler wanted to, you know, try to negotiate a surrender. Boom. That's one little point off. With the British, so he didn't want to do too much damage. I don't think that's terribly credible. I think that sort of gets started by a comment from von Rundstedt after the war during the... I don't know if it was the interviews after the war or the Nuremberg trials, but either way, gets started around there. I would say Hitler's personality would be more to the liking of a couple 100,000 British prisoners of war as a bargaining chip than anything else. I think it's a mix of reasons. One, they're gonna shoot my... Yep, they're gonna... Yep. That wasn't a good choice. Okay, run away. Good. That's a better choice. Run away. Was the... Yeah, you're gonna go after the armored cars. That was not the best choice moving there. That's not the best choice either. The lack of understanding of armored warfare and its effectiveness, I think that has a lot to do with what's going on for Dunkirk. Let's move you to here. That way we have all this area under anti-air coverage. Slightly stronger unit. And we sunk some Schnellboote, fast boots. Yeah, let's move up to Newport. Oh god, this is terrible. Well, I may have lost that unit. I think I'm going to move you back to here. We're now seeing... Yep, you can just stay right there and pound on them a bit. Try to keep these panzers bottled up here. You know, I think the Germans were afraid of their success, quite honestly, with the armor. Didn't quite know. We want to get the British out, so we'll move them there. And you have 18 points to spend. What you can maybe we'll see about reinforcing that unit. Is it just good money after bad is, I guess, my worry, but that is a possibility here. I hate losing units. I expect damage to units, but I hate losing them. Definitely want to shoot down as much of the aircraft as we can, because I'll get to the aircraft in a moment. These guys are going to get out of the train. I think I'll take advantage of deploying to there. Just out. Well, let's move. Get under the air umbrella of that. Get our bombers back up in the air. And of course, hello Mirror Man, how you doing today? You know, the whole Blitzkrieg is entirely new to the to everybody. Tanks obviously have been used considerably before the start of World War II, but in that sort of now that I moved him on the airport, can I land? No. Okay, well, that was a bad move. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, we're going to hit control to swap these two units out. No, he won't be able to fire because of that turn, but just afraid that somebody's going to roll right into that river. But this whole combined arms. Again, let's shift for these and see if we can, yes, do these guys a serious injury. Still hobbling about on crutches because of the stupid fracture. Well, sorry to hear you had bad. Use those French engineers to blow up the bridge. Oh, that's a good idea. Are you talking about the British ones up here, maybe? Yeah, that's an idea. When we get a chance. Those are heavy infantry, those aren't engineers. These are British infantry over here. Oh, you're the ones I moved. Well, I wanted to get that unit. These rivers are crossable. It's just easier to cross at the bridge than the river. And okay, everyone needs to understand, it's good to have weak spots, okay? By having a weak spot, you try to funnel the enemy to attack you there, and you know where the battle will happen. Thanks for the follow. Please, everyone, follow Slithering. Lots of great streamers here with great games you will most likely enjoy. And hello, Pixel. And so having a weak spot like a bridge, as opposed to blowing all these bridges and then not knowing where they're going to push across at me, definitely changes the battle situation here, where now I have this guy facing off against these British infantry here. They hopefully, that's a bit tighter than I like, but we'll advance it, or retreat through there, I think, or maybe there. We'll see. The armors here, hopefully it can battle off the infantry and still get out. But I sort of like the idea that they're going to want to push to there. They're going to want to push to here. I'd like that, as opposed to hitting just any random spot along the river. So that is part of, okay. Oh, yes, allow. Twitch thinks using the word Hitler is somehow a bad thing. I mean, he's a bad guy, of course, but also, okay, yes, and that his Air Force was going to be, and you're absolutely right. I think they see, I say they as being the German general staff, who are almost exclusively World War I veterans, see tanks as simply armored cavalry. And cavalry charges across the open field, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, and smashes into troops in the open. Otherwise, they just suck. In battle. They're either weak infantry, like if they dismount and, use their carbines or something like that. So going into forests or towns, they can do it. And so if you got 3 cavalry units all attacking one unit in the town, yeah, fine. You're overwhelming them. But one-on-one, an infantry unit in a town is going to defeat a cavalry unit of roughly equal strength attacking it. I think that's how they see tanks, and there is and a lot of cavalry units are converting over to armor, and there is some physical justification, but it's the combined arms of blitzkrieg that makes it different. If you're looking at like a lot of the French units at this time, I mean, de Gaulle has just stood up 2 days after the start of Fall Gelb. He just gets command of the first, it's the 4th division, but 4th armored division, but it's the 1st French armored division, and he has almost nothing to it. He has like 3 battalions of tanks and some other random units that have been attached to it. It's not like a coherent, coordinated, trained up division. The French are using their tanks either as infantry support vehicles or as cavalry units. They're not using them in a sort of combined arms way. Infantry support is, a little bit, but still, it's they're slow and they're just a few sprinkled around to make the infantry do infantry things better, kind of thing. And which isn't a bad idea. It's just not the numerical weapon of the combined arms that we see coming. And supposedly, now this map doesn't have it, but the area around Dunkirk was thought to be sort of marshy, swampy, that Hitler even remembers from the First World War. I don't know what the conditions were at the time of the battle, whether it was that or whether it was... I think I will take your advice here. Let's use the cheaper. Maybe they'll still be able to get out. Reinforcements. And so we don't see marshy ground on this battlefield. I did sort of check for it, and I'm not saying it should be here. I'm just saying I don't see it here. Sometimes marshy ground, as to being overly marshy, may very well be seasonal and not always that way. And so they see they want to halt the armored unit. Now they're also looking towards Fall Rot, which is shall we say, invasion of France, the sort of second phase going down to France after cutting off, because this is all, obviously Calais and going across the Sedan is into France, but this is really the maneuver, the sickle maneuver, to cut off all the forces in Belgium and the Netherlands from France. Fall Rot is the real sort of invasion of France, with Paris and other objectives coming in, so that they want to save the armor for the future operations, so that they're not all messed up. They're ready to go for it. Okay, so there's that may be a consideration. Now there's also Joe's point about the Air Force in Goering and his sort of promises of, I don't think I'm ready to move that yet. Not yet. You can sit there, you can sit there, you can sit there, you can sit there, you can sit there. Yeah, okay. In destroying the retreating troops from Dunkirk. And I would say the effectiveness of air units is another area that is still very new to everybody. They're obviously a lot more effective than they were in the First World War. We see run away across the river. Yes, there we go. That may save you. Especially now it has where is it? Yeah, he's still in the truck. The tank guns. used in the Spanish Civil War to rather effective use, but actually rather limited numbers, at least compared to what we start seeing with the Battle of France on both sides, larger air fleets. And so the Germans very well may be overconfident in the ability of the Luftwaffe to destroy the forces that are retreating. I'm not going to, obviously the forces get out. I'm not going to say they're all wrong in their ideas about that. But it just really wasn't up to it. Now, some of it is local conditions. These beaches really made... Okay, can we get back to the area? Okay, well, first, let's see. Let's get you out to sea. Let's get these guys use their umbrella over him as well. So now all three of these units are providing some level of air cover. Yeah, I gotta see, next turn we'll see if they can get in there from the beach or if they have to be in the town. I want to get you landed to reinforce you. Don't know whether I should be sending go after the HE-111 or targeting one of these here now, but I think we'll target this here now, the Stukas, and be sort of ready to withdraw. Now he's obviously a lot weaker, and so like I say, local conditions. The RAF coming over from Britain able to supply air support against the Luftwaffe. I would say ineffective training equipment, whatever, for naval bombardment against the ships is definitely an element of what's going on with the Luftwaffe, and it's inability to take out. Yeah, I will. You're just gonna. No, let's move you back to here, and then we will spend 7 and get some reinforcements. You are going to fall back to here, I think, because you're slow, and if we want to get you out, and we do, don't want you too far forward, but enough that they can move back up if we need to support. Retreat. Now we want to hold this until turn, what is it, 6 or 9? Forget, we'll see the notification on the turn indicator. So, well, I think we have most effect. Well, we can take out those little guys, or damage them somewhat. Well, not enough. I think we're going to save our shot here. Now here, we're going to see if we can just kill them. On blowing the bridge, now if I was retreating, like getting ready to just bug out and like from along here, I don't think I have any engineers up here. Or something like that, or blowing this bridge, or at a certain retreat point, it would make very good sense to blow the bridge. Okay. You guys... No. You guys did not move. So what we're going to do is ping for submarines. 2 hexes only, but it would give me an idea that if there's any subs out here, possibly either to obviously sink and or just a spot for the bomber coming in. The location of my ship, because I don't know that they know where that would be to get right over and attack it. Now that he's out there. So yeah, the effectiveness of the... Well, that's... Yeah, I think everything's good. Now a combined arms operation. Man, they don't like that armored car. Against Dunkirk. With the air power. With exactly what Goering had them do. With a vigorous, rapid follow-up. You know, warfare isn't just about stats and statistics. It's about men's morale, commanding officers' morale and decision making. You have the... We're gonna, you know, earlier on, you know, before this phase, but just sort of before it, you have Lord Gort getting told, get ready to fight your way to the west. You know, hold some lines, 9 turns wipers, okay. I think that is equal to going up there, hopefully. I'm going to leave that unit alone for the moment. Yeah, oh no, I want the air unit. We got him. We have the we have this bomber who's being escorted by the 110s. So that's a weak unit. So let's just, I know the goal is to take out the bombers, but let's just take out all their escorts first. Now that we've done that, we can concentrate right here. We'll stay right there because we're escorted by him. The heavy infantry we want to, I think, focus on first here because they can turn into, you know, sort of light artillery or their mortars or however you want to say it. Use that as an effective tool while standing off a bit from our forces, and if we can pound them some, it would be good. Okay, we're going to bug you out all the way to here. And so, you know, with, you know, like I was saying, the Luftwaffe doing just what it did with a vigorous attack. Would the British, because, you know, in the early stages, you know, they get there, they start to do, you know, you've probably all seen the movie Dunkirk. Good movie. That the early stages, they're trying to get, you know, they're bringing in transport vessels like this into the Dunkirk harbor and putting troops on them efficiently and getting the ships out, but oops, the ships are now sitting targets, an easily identifiable target, and are starting getting air attacked. Okay, so they then get the little boats idea. Little boats do pick up troops off the beach and do take troops all the way back to Britain. But what they do a lot more of is, and they're using more destroyers than transports, but they're having destroyers and other naval vessels sitting out here. The little boats are coming into the beaches, getting the men, taking them out back and forth, filling these guys up, and then these guys going back to Britain. So would they have even mentally got to the idea of using the little boats, which are the only way you're able to get the number of soldiers off of Dunkirk, whether it's the beaches or the harbors, in anywhere near the time frame that we're looking at, if they were under vigorous attack, even if they're able to hold the perimeter, whether it's this sort of river or this sort of river out here, wherever it is, they're more concentrated on the attacks than the lack of attacks. Like I do say, up at Newport here, there was a hard battle between some British and some Germans that had made it to there. So, there were some battles around as part of Dunkirk and holding the perimeter. I mean, hard fought ones, but it's not the main thing that the headache of the main commanders. So they go through the mental process of, yes, we need to. Okay, I'm going to, while we can, we're going to reinforce you. I've sort of been saving my few French points. Okay, so we must be sitting in that port. Good to know. Just needed to know that. Now if we move you to here, okay, next turn. I think covering here is more important. Okay, good. Wide area of anti-aircraft. Where's that? No, that's anti-aircraft coverage. Okay, so he's covering all of that. I think this is more likely to be spotted and known. I want to protect this. Well, we can protect the artillery from here. Yeah. Let's see if we can maybe, if they come after these units, use that anti-aircraft. I also see a very simple and a lot of ideological hubris of Goering, but so, well, then that Hitler believed that Allah. Okay, yes. I think the movie is called Things to Come. It was made in the early 1930s from a H.G. Wells novel. And it's a British movie. And it depicts the next war that happens. And it's very unspecified. And this is early. This may even before the rise of Hitler, but I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since I've seen it. I think it's before 1936. And it's the next enemy is not really even hinted at that it's Germany. It's just the next big war. And they have the war as being the enemies are attacking with huge air fleets and coming in and just obliterating cities. Like sort of the damage that happens in World War II, but not just in a few selective spots, just the whole cities just obliterated. And basically civilization more or less in this story comes to an end. or at least it does in certain regions. That's sort of the point of it. And then there's also, oh, there they found, okay, but now we have that AA. Do we have the ship AA? Oh, come on, you're supposed to be giving better ship AA, I was hoping for. Okay, we've got to get our fighters back that way. Maybe because they moved? I don't know. And so the perception, and also the perception coming out of Guernica, where the Luftwaffe, like I say, in relatively small numbers, does a number on, you know, attacking Spain. And so I think it's a lot of people's perception of what air power can do is misplaced. You know, we see the now that they spotted it, they're able to shoot. What was shooting them? Artillery, obviously, but was it the captured guns or? Yeah, run away because I got anti-tank guns there. Uh-oh, the fighters are back. Okay. Here we got one unit out. You come to there. Oh, it's these guns. They're allowing them to use the Calais guns? Damn, stupid French people, you're supposed to spike your guns. Basically, in this term, probably get the breech out of the guns and throw them away into the ocean or something. Damn you. Did they actually... Now, I have read very much that the guns that are in some of these, not so much about Calais, but some of the Belgian coastal defense guns were very much unable to turn and shoot inland by, you know, their design of their emplacements. Okay, well, you just got weakened. You're defensive, anti-air power only. Okay, well, hopefully that will help. Well, you are weaker. We're going to risk the air unit getting in here. Oh no, that's not an air unit. That's a anti-tank unit. Okay. Now, you are badly wounded and running out of fuel, so you're going to come here and land. You are going to take off. You're not going, you know, you're going to come back here and land as well. And so I'm going to, you know, we can talk about the ideological viewpoint of the Luftwaffe, and it was a National Socialist organization, and I'm not going to even attempt to minimize that as a thing. Yeah. These guys are going to take some hits from there, but I'm going to allow them one sort of turn of attack. Okay, there the heavy infantry is hiding in that town. We don't know he's there, and or he has. We can go off, hit this one, and then come back up to there. So we know we were fired at from here, we will. Yep. Oh, what's that? Oh, bumped into those guys. Well, my friends, this may be a very bad idea. But I wanted to hurt the gun battery there. But at least now we reduce their strength in half. We've got 2 more turns that we would like to hold this. They are not pushing here, they're not pushing here, they're not pushing here, and they haven't pushed up here yet. So I think we can hold at least 1 more turn here before thinking about evacuating. We will try to do this as orderly as possible to this next river line. Once we think it's the right time, probably next turn. Oh, cancel. I'm just worried. Is there an air unit or something that should be moved? No. You can just hang out there hiding it down. You guys are just going to sit right where you're at. Okay, I guess you guys should fire. Also fire at the town. I don't know if we did any good. Oh. Other artillery shooting them. I figured the infantry is going to take them out anyways, but we'll see. If I can retreat them, I will. If I can't, they will gloriously try to knock the coastal battery out. Good. The AA is doing its job. We got more. Now you're doing your job of, I don't know, of anti-aircraft operations, or anti-air operations. Now, not only did they get a lot of men out, over 300,000 of troops were gotten off, and over 200,000 of them, I believe, were English troops. They also got units off, and even though the units were without any of their heavy equipment, many of the men didn't even bring their rifles out by the time they were getting out. Because you see the orderly lines, they were not just rabble. They weren't just, troops panic and fleeing. Yeah, I think we might be able to save that unit. Might, that is. A unit is a cohesive fighting force. And, yeah, as the units were fleeing from Dunkirk, they were no longer a cohesive fighting force. But they were something that wasn't just a collection of artillerymen and infantrymen and cooks and maintenance guys or whatever unit or job specifications they had. They were oh good, we have more forces to protect. Okay, you come to here. Yes, you come to here. You come to here. Wish I had better anti-air. Maybe that will. And so they saved the British professional army that is still an army and not just people. You know, we're going to park you right over this unit so that they can't bomb that unit. That was part of my stratagem. Okay, that even, it's too far, so we can at least shoot, hopefully shoot that down. Okay, Stuka die. Okay. You elite repair. You elite repair. Okay, so we're repairing those guys. These guys come out to here and also reinforce. Okay, well, like I say, we've knocked that effectively in half. Hey, thanks for following. Do appreciate it. And on mentioning that, let me just... I know most of you guys have been around a lot and already follow me on Twitch and YouTube. But if you haven't, I'll put the links here. Now don't go away, just open another window up and hit the follow or the subscribe button as the platform dictates. Would really appreciate it. And of course follow here, like I was saying, on Slithering for many great streamers playing great games. I don't know if any of you caught the sort of announcement today, but I'm not going to say what it was that's really exciting from Slithering that is something coming in the future. And I know they're planning on announcing it next week, at least that's the idea, but I think it's sort of kind of slipped out hey, yes, thank you for following, on Twitter at least, and so I'm not going to spoil it any more than that, but you might wish to show up for next week's various announcement streams, whether it's tea time or the Tuesday stream. I'm not right now sure which one it'll be, but now that these guys fired, they can't maneuver. Oh. Okay, we'll do that. Just so this way they're covering the artillery as well as all of that. Now, of course, they'll bomb it down here or something. I don't know if anybody in chat knows and wants to state what has been for one of the developers, one of the development studios that Slithering publishes for. I'm really excited about it's a new game. Okay. I think we've done what we need to do here. Well, okay. I know I just moved that, which sort of dictates not... Okay, yep. Not to do that this turn. And Scooter, subscriber. We really do appreciate subscribers here. Scooter is a great guy. Okay, you're launching torpedoes. No damage. Torpedoes do their best damage against things like carriers, battleships. Oh, should I have moved him? Probably. I didn't do the bombers well this turn. I messed that one up. Yeah, I figured that while he was in his truck mode, he would bomb something. But I was just getting tired of not being able to shoot at some of these guys. Yeah, I'm human. I make mistakes, make bad judgment. Like this guy forgetting to move him was a mistake. Either. Yep. See, now that I took him to half strength, he's not even doing real damage. Okay, Panzer II, you ran away. Yep, they've been in town. Okay, so we've not yet held it for 9 turns, Wipers, but this will be 9 turns. Since you're the weakest, you're going to hang out there. Oh, no, no. Okay. I hate this game not having load. Not having a undo button. I mean, I love the game, don't get me wrong, but I hate that it doesn't have an undo button. I did not mean to move the aircraft. That was, if you will, a misclick. I didn't realize it would still move it. Next turn here. So I just wasn't paying close enough attention to it. I meant to shoot at my friend the Schnellbooter here. And we're just going to stay all around it here. Okay, well. Let's see how far we can maybe save this to. I don't know. Now here, do we shoot at that or do we shoot at this? I think we shoot at this because this is a lot weaker and we can maybe put it right out. Hey, thanks very much for the subscription. Again, we really appreciate those. Okay, guys, well, you're good enough to get up in the air, so you're going to get up in the air. You, we're going to, because you've been bombed on the ground, we're going to get you repaired now, and you'll be flying escort for whatever may come next turn over here. Okay, this is the 9th turn. We're supposed to hold this for 9 turns, the town. So we've achieved that goal now. Okay. He can move to here, he can move to there. Right. Now, you're in a bad way. That's your French, so let's move you to there and okay. He's pretty fast, pretty mobile. He's not so. Let's move him to here, because we very well may be withdrawing back across here. We shot him, good. Alright, now this may look like to the French that we just collapsed our line. Oh, we need to move you. Let's do a big movement jump. Get him all the way back to there. I don't want him cut off from his retreat possible. Retreat here. Okay. Now, of course, they're seeing this with air reconnaissance. What's going on? No, I want you shoot. Yeah, you shot. Okay. None of these other guys have. Sonar. All right. And they do not like that anti-tank gun. And they're going to shoot down. Wow, they survived somehow. They forced them out to be able to bomb there, okay. Yes, restart a save, yeah. That's, you know, just did the restarted the auto save. That's my real sort of pet peeve with this game. And yes, I will be, even though I'm here on Slytherin's channel, I will be honest with you about how I feel about games. Like I say, I really love Order of Battle, but that doesn't mean I'm, you know, every single little thing about it is perfect or anything like that. Good, there we go, some good, nice anti-air up, which didn't do any overly effective. Oh, there's subs. We're gonna have to kill those subs. Remember where the subs are if they start hiding. Oh, you're back, and you might try to come and cut units off. We'll have to see about how we're getting units out there. Okay, we now have a new commander that we can attach to a unit. That's a air. Okay, so we've hold Wipers for 9 turns. We didn't even try to hold Lille. We want to evacuate at least 2. We got 1 French ground unit out, and of course 6 British units. New commander is available to be attached to one of our units. Let's give him here. Okay, well, he's going to take off. No, it's not this. Okay. Sink the U-boats. Again, if you don't move the ships, they have they're considered better firing platforms than if you do move them. Obviously, sometimes it's, you know, need to be moved, but British infantry, 1940. Let's go after this Stukas. That will at least get us... And I moved you to the wrong spot. Needed to move you to there. Oh well. We'll get you out soon enough, I think. Now, a little worried about him pushing and cutting here before we get units out. So let's see what we can do. You're a truck, so you're just going to drive all the way over here, and you'll be next to that air unit who will protect you from being shot at. Heavy infantry. Okay, you can make it to there. I think you're going to go sit on the bridge. Bad place to put units, except for maybe, hopefully, when we are supporting a unit like this. Okay. That's very important to know that we have a limited... I knew they're slow. I know they're slow. As you can see, and I know I've talked a lot about how much I admire generals who can withdraw in the face of an enemy successfully. Oh, you fly here, land. Again, you're right next to a fighter, so you're relatively well protected. You're going to be slower, so get you furthest back. Most options. Okay. So that is how to do a fighting with retreat here. These two tanks, even the little Renault 35, should be able to stand off British armor, German armor. I don't think, because I was thinking about the Matilda, don't think they're going to be able to get to here to cut off the Matilda's retreat. And what we'll see about, we can also get the infantry here is relatively well protected. If they attack this infantry here, we do have the anti-tank sitting on the bridge. These guys are a little vulnerable in the river, but I think we'll be okay. So that is at least how I do it. Whether that's... Do we still have the French? Air unit somewhere. Oh, here. Over here. Okay, and you're in good shape. You're just not that good of a unit. Yeah, if we run all the way over here... Yes, Dunkirk, very much. Hello, John Kaminsky. We are trying to withdraw as much forces as we can out of it in the next 5 turns.